So we're standing there. This guy's got us by an arm each. He's furious. And all I can think is, man, we went too far again. I grew up next door to my best friend, Brian. And for the better part of 10 years, we spent every single day together. And we were good kids, but we were like puppies. You know, like if we got bored, we just started destroying things. And we got bored a lot. We took, one time we took 6 M80s, which were essentially like a quarter stick of dynamite each, and we stuffed them inside my Millennium Falcon, and we put it out in the driveway and just blew it. This went too far. It made no sense. And one time we took 2 cans of gasoline, one each, and we went down the street, and we were pouring a straight line. We were trying to recreate that scene from Back to the Future where the DeLorean comes in. 2 strings of, it's too far. It's just too far, always. But you don't ever go too far until you get busted. And that's where the shit bags came in. You guys know what shit bags are? Of course you don't, because me and Brian invented them. We were sitting on Brian's front porch, and he had this sweet little black lab, Beanie. And we're sitting there, but Beanie used to shit all over his front yard. And we're sitting there on the front porch, and Brian goes, oh, there's a lot of shit out here, you know? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? And I'm pretty sure I'm not thinking what he's thinking, because he's thinking about shit. And I said, no. And he goes, we should take all these piles of shit and put them into Ziploc bags, and then we'll pour water inside them, and then we'll seal them up. And I was like, oh, okay. No, this is like a water balloon. I like where your head's at. This is good. So stop it. Come on, get over yourself. So we did this, and we had essentially these little water balloons. And Brian lived on Patrick Henry Drive, which was, in Arlington, that's the longest flat stretch of road in Arlington. It's fantastic. Like at night, we would hear people drag racing down it. But during the day, you could see cars coming from like 3/4 of a mile away. So this is where I come in. I'm like, this is my idea. It's like, well, why don't we'll put the shit bags out in the road? And we did this. We would go out there and we'd strategically place the shit bag 2.5 feet off the dashed white line. And then we would run to this elm tree that was right on the side of the road. And we would watch as cars would come. And we would poke our head and go, oh shit, here comes a car. It's gonna shoot me. And as the car would come down the street, we would start to move around the elm tree so they couldn't see us. And it would come down, and finally, it would hit the shit bag, you know? And it would spray up, and Brian and I would just jump around and celebrate. It was fantastic. They never knew what hit them, you know? And it was, if we laid down one of these, we laid down 100 of them. It was amazing. We always went a little too far. So I'm sitting at home this one day. I'm about 12 years old. It's summertime. I'm watching Price is Right, and I hear a knock at the door. And so I go and I open the door, and there's Brian. Brian's got one hand behind his back, and he's got a look on his face like, I'm about to change your life forever. And I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? What do you got? And he goes, boom. And he pulls out, and up to this point in my life, I had never seen the 1-gallon freezer storage bag. You know the one I'm talking about? Like the white bar at the top where you could take a Sharpie and be like, fucking pork chops, like September 18th and shove them. It was one of those big things, you know? And he might as well have just been holding like a crushed velvet box with a ring in it, because I felt like he was proposing to me. He pulls it out and I'm just like, yes, bro, of course I will. I'm so excited. We run out and we start scooping beanie piles of poop into the bag, but not like 1 or 2 or 3. Like this, we got like 12 piles of poop into this bag. And Brian's holding the bag and we start pouring the water in, but not just the cup. We got like a whole pitcher, and I'm pouring it in there. And Brian's like, dude, go slow, dude, don't smash the poop water on me. And he's going, and so we get it nice and full, and I seal it up from him, and I take it out. I'm like, whoa, it's heavy. And so we take it and we stick it out in the middle of Patrick Henry, right, 2 feet right off the dashed white line, and we run to the elm tree and we start hiding. And we keep seeing cars come. We're like, oh God, here he comes, he's gonna fucking shoot me. But they always missed it. Okay, they're coming down the road, but like most, like the first edition shit bags were like the size of your hand. It was a sandwich bag, you know. So you were doing 35, you'd nail that. This one was like the size of a throw pillow. Okay, and it's out in the middle of the road. And so we're seeing cars come down. They see this bag from 500 yards away. They're like not even swerving. They're just kind of drifting off into the next lane. So we know we need like the perfect moment, right? And so we're sitting there, and all of a sudden I look out down the path, and I see a van at the top of Patrick Henry Drive. And it's one of the, I don't even think they make these vans anymore. It was like the old school, remember like the A-Team van? Or like the Mystery Machine and the Scooby-Doo, remember? It was like one of those vans. But here's the kicker. They can't close the side door on it. Yes, this is fantastic. Because they've got a bunch of rolls of brand new carpet sticking out of it. They're going to do like some kind of installation job, and a quarter of the carpet can't fit in, so it's wide open. And Brian and I just kind of held hands, and we're like, dude, no matter what happens, this is the greatest day of our lives. So we're sitting there, and we're waiting. We start to do our move around the tree as it comes down, and the van's coming, and then right when the van's like lined up with me, time froze. And like, you know, like in the Matrix, like where the camera shifts and like the air particles are kind of like suspended in midair. It was like that. And I'm looking at the driver of the car, and he's got his hand on the wheel, but he's not looking at the road. Like, he's looking at his buddy, and he's telling him something, and he's like driving, and this buddy's looking at him, and all I can go is, oh yeah, they're not looking at the road, they're headed straight on with a shit bag. And so Brian and I wait, and then we cut back to like real time, and the van just pulls up and nails the shit bag. Boom, and it was like a series of flashes of things that I saw. Like I saw brown mist fly up in the air, right? And then I like caught like a shot of the carpets, and they were all covered in poo. Oh my God, it was there. And Brian and I just started celebrating like we won the Super Bowl. We're like, ah, God. And then we heard this guy screech on the brakes. And we're like, yeah, dude, he's gonna get out of the car and look at it. He's gonna be so mad. But see, what we weren't thinking was that, I think like in all of our excitement, we had kind of wandered out from behind the tree, and we're like out dancing like, and so I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, dude, what a dumbass. He's looking at the poop. He's not gonna... And he just keeps walking towards us. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, this isn't, no. Okay, he sees us. Okay, this is not good. So I yell, like, all right, let's run, right? And I do that turn, and like, you ever like got like a real good first step? Like, you know that one where you're like, fucking dust this guy. And I remember thinking in my head, like, well, I hope Brian gets away, because like, that's the kind of friend I am, you know? So I'm like, and I'm feeling real good. I get about 5 steps. Turns out I wasn't running as fast as I thought I was. Because I feel an arm grab me by, you know, right, like a hand grab me right here. And I look over, and there's Brian. He's grabbed. So we're standing there. This guy's got us by an arm each, and he's furious. And all I can think is, oh my God, we went too far. And the guy says to me, he goes, what the hell was that in the middle of the road? And the only thing I could think to say was, bag of shit with water in it. Right? And I saw the anger in his face kind of turn to confusion. And he went, what? And I said, yeah, bag of shit with water in it. That's the truth. I mean, it's always the best answer, right? And he goes, and then the confusion turns to kind of like amusement. And I could tell it was like a little hooligan deep down inside of him. And he goes, listen, all right, I'm going to ask you guys to give me your word. And I was like, that's worthless. Sure, I'll give you my word. And he goes, listen, I can either go ahead and tell your parents about this, or you can promise me you'll never do it again. And we said, yeah, sure, we'll never do it again. And so he drove off, and then Brian and I went and we inspected the crime scene, and we saw this gigantic splash of water that was like 6 feet in diameter, and there's poo all on the curb, and a shredded bag like 30 yards up the road, and I just thought, too far? Not even close. Thank you.